Hi, Jamberry Consultants. It's Christina Stark, and thanks for joining me for another live edition of the Daily Nugget. And for the past couple of days, I have been approving quite a few people into this select group. So I'm really excited to have all the new LCs, SLCs, and PCs that qualify to be paid as those ranks for the month of August. I've had a lot of leaders who want to join this group as well, but guess what? They can't be in here. They have their own group. They have their own Independent Leaders of Jamberry Nails group. So this is the Leadership Goal Diggers group, one that you will find lots of support from myself and some special guests when they arrive. I have a couple next week. And you'll be hearing from some peers as well that were in the group last month. So just as a reminder, you guys, this is pretty exclusive. And so I want you to appreciate the opportunity that we have to spend this time together. So just to let you know, I want to remind you that Jamberry is just not a sales company. No, it's not. If you've ever thought of it this way, have you ever thought of it this way, as a personal development company? Think about it. Personal development, what does that mean? Well, I'm giving you homework. I'm making you stretch outside your comfort zone. Yes, that's right. You are developing yourself, and it's really important for you to remember that, because you really can't take other people further than where you're at if you don't improve upon yourself. One of the things that I like to do is I like to listen to podcasts, or I like to listen to talks when I'm driving on my way here to the office. It's a great way for me to start the day with a positive note, to remind myself of some good things, or remind myself to maybe improve on a few things, but it's always a great thing to be listening. I know, hey, I'm all about listening to music while driving down the road, but sometimes I just need something to help me get outside of a rut. And that's what this personal self-development kind of idea is all about. Let me tell you something, and I may shed a tear or two just because it means a lot to me. Some of you have heard my story. Maybe some of you haven't heard my story, but I am a graphic designer. That's what I went to school for, and I absolutely love graphic design. And 3 years ago, as I just had my Jamiversary last Friday, my 3-year Jamiversary, that I started Jamberry. I started with Jamberry as the creative director. For 25 years, I have been a graphic designer / art director / creative director, whatever you want to call it. And that's where I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable doing design. Absolutely love it. But when I was asked to join the sales team, that's not even in my wheelhouse, not even close. But they really needed some help. And so therefore, it was an opportunity for me to stretch and grow. I didn't do sales before, didn't do training, didn't do coaching, didn't do mentoring, didn't do any of that kind of stuff. And I have learned that I'm actually love it. I'm actually good at it. But I didn't know that because I was nervous. I was scared. And if we look at something at the enormity of something, such as maybe your brain dump list that I asked you to do last week, the enormity of all the things that we have to do can really paralyze us. But if we break it down day by day, task by task, just accomplishing a few things, then when we look back on it, we actually think, how did I do that? How was I able to do that? And that's where I want you to think that that is something that, as a Jamberry consultant, is going to fill a hole or create a new love of something to either, when you empower somebody, how does that make you feel and how does it benefit them? When you're able to solve a problem for somebody, how does it make you feel and how does it benefit them? Those types of things that you learn as a Jamberry consultant, as a lead consultant, as a senior lead consultant, as a premier consultant, for those of you who are working your way towards being a team manager, those are the things that you want to develop, and you will develop as you find things to learn about. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite books, just so you can get an idea. One of my favorite books that I read, and I've read it over and over and over, is called The Energy Bus. This is by John Gordon, and it's an absolute fun read, easy, great story, very similar to the Tribalry book that we were asked to read at JamCon. So if you don't want to read The Energy Bus, you can get Tribalry and you can read that. It's the same thing. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And I think I have attracted a very cool tribe with all of you here. All right, so Noelle Picus Pace, she was one of our keynote speakers, our motivational speaker at JamCon. And this is called Focused. And she has a bunch of little stories of confidence builders, of making you think a different way. And this is really, really great. So, and they're short chapters. So if you only want to read one little section, maybe it's 3-4 pages, maybe 6 at the most, and there's lots of pictures in it, which is super awesome. And because I worked for the Salt Lake Olympic Committee in 2002, this is really near and dear to me because of the Olympic movement. So that's one of my favorites too. I will tell you, this is a great book, and I coached a lot of my girls when I do private coaching sessions to get this book. It's called Your 5-Minute Personal Coach. All right. And Valerie Burton is a fantastic speaker and mentor. If you want to get this, if you want to get only one book, I would highly recommend this because there's actual worksheets in here. I don't want to say a worksheet, but let me pull this open to one of the things that, so you can see I've highlighted quite a bit. But she will have little checklists for you to do, little activities, and then she'll have a page that says Coach Yourself, and that is where you can write down your action items. And so this is just, again, 2-3 pages of these awesome tips on being your 5-minute personal coach. Get better. We want to get better, right? This is one that Elizabeth Thibodeau, our fearless CEO, has recommended. And I've read this one, and it's called The One Thing. I use this in my coaching to say, what is the one thing that's keeping you from being successful this month? I've created that, my own wording for that. But what is it that is keeping you from what's the one thing? Is it your bookings? Are you sucking at bookings? Are you sucking at recruiting? And make a plan on how to make that happen. But this book talks about all sorts of things. And this is really great. Multitasking is a myth, ladies. You'll have to read this book in order to know why. And it's true. We are not computers, although our brains are supercomputers, but the time to go from here to here lags. And then I just started reading a new book called The Tools. And this is a great book because it gets you from being able to control your anger when you get frustrated, allows you to express yourself better. If you have anxiety, this is a great book because it gives you the tools, the methods of not going in the past of figuring out why you've been anxious or why you get angry, but mechanisms or tools to be able to move forward with power and with action. So these are some of the books that I have read or are currently reading. I have several that I'm reading at the same time while I also have podcasts in the car. You can get books on tape or whatever. But this is a great opportunity for you to realize that this is not just a sales company, but a personal development company. And you need to work on yourself harder than anyone else, because really at the end of the day, you are the one that can affect yourself. You can't control other people's choices. You can't control other people's destinies. You have to control yours. And so make sure that you always protect that vision. Always put yourself with people that want to be just like you. That is what I've also heard from some great leaders that are not in this group, but are some great leaders of great teams, that always surround yourself with people you want to be like. People who will bring you up and not put you down. You need to protect your dreams and your vision. So make sure that you stay in a good place and help yourself always. Just like the oxygen mask on an airplane, make sure you put your oxygen mask on before you help others, making sure yours is secure. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow. I would love to find out what books perhaps you suggest. If you found a good book, you can also comment that down below so that others can read the comments and hopefully find a book that they enjoy as well. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow for another Daily Nugget. Thanks for all you do. Bye.